Another round of lockdown. When will this ever end? Hey guys, it's Kevin here, and just to give you an update on what's happening right now in my country, Malaysia, our government has just officially imposed another round of CMCO, or Conditional Movement Control Order. Basically, it's like a partial lockdown that is not as strict as a full-scale lockdown that we had previously. But man, I really can't take this anymore, like lockdown fatigue of not being able to go out. But I guess they have no choice because recently our cases have jumped up so much. Just a few weeks ago we were having maybe about 20 cases a day, and now it's spiked up to 600 cases a day. That is really alarming and it's scaring everyone. So it's our duty as citizens to adhere to the SOPs. So this new CMCO will last for 2 weeks, from 14 October to 27 October. And that is quite sad because my birthday is actually right in the middle of those days. No birthday party for me. And this CMCO only applies to 3 areas within Malaysia: the capital Kuala Lumpur, Putrajaya, the administrative area, and 3 state I'm living in, Selangor. Anyone who's living in these 3 areas are confined and they're not allowed to leave or travel interstate. And right now I'm going to share with you guys what are the current new rules that the government has laid out of CMCO. Let's go. Let me check on this infographic I found. There's I think about 18 new rules or sort of standards that we must follow. I guess the most important one that people want to know is how many people can go out of the house. So it says here that only 2 people from one household are allowed to go out to buy essentials. In a car, you can only have 2 persons sitting in also. The most funny thing is, I read somewhere that you must have 1 person in the front driving and the second person must be behind the driver, so they're not actually sitting in the same row. Otherwise you might get fined, which I think is pretty bizarre. Second is, all economic sectors are allowed to be open, such as shopping malls, retail, even groceries and food shops. You can actually go in, it's just that you might have to follow more rules to get in, adhere to the amount of people allowed inside. Kiosks and grocery stores are allowed to open from 6 AM to 10 PM, so no late night shopping guys, for supper. No contact sports and recreational cultural activities, as they are prohibited. Contact sports such as, I think, football, basketball, things that you actually touch someone, but I think maybe jogging is fine, so you can just walk around your park or around your neighborhood, as long as you don't actually touch someone. So stay away people, don't touch me. Next one, all educational institutions will be closed, and this is quite sad for students who are hoping to complete their syllabus, because I think that the online studies have not been doing too well and they get really distracted at home trying to listen to the online classes. It's really pitiful because their major exams are all postponed. I think SPM is going to be held next year instead, which is the national exam for school leavers. And schools have to make up for the lost time because they have to push things further and further behind. Next one, social activities including weddings and exhibitions are prohibited. I really salute those who managed to do their weddings right before this lockdown again. A few of my friends got married, and when I look at it, they could only invite a few people, but right now it's totally cancelled. So our exhibitions, like my art galleries that I really want to go, hopefully they'll come back again and I'll visit more artistic stuff. How about food, which we all love? It says here that dining at restaurants are allowed from 6 AM to 10 PM with only 2 per table. So that's a really harsh restriction because most families have more than 2 people and they want to go out and enjoy the meal. You can't actually sit together, you have to separate. Come to think of it, you can't actually leave the house with more than 2 persons. Cases where 3 people have sat together on a table and they got fined when the police went and do spot checks. So the fine is quite hefty. It is about 1,000 ringgit each, including the restaurant owner who allowed them to sit. So total fine of 3,000 ringgit. Easy money y'all, stay smart, eat as 2. Aside from dining in, takeaway, delivery and drive-thru are highly encouraged. I find myself constantly ordering GrabFood or Foodpanda all the time because I can't leave the house and there are a lot of good promotions out there. So it's really tempting for me to spend all my money without even leaving the house on food. It is rather good because technology allows people to try lots of varieties at their own convenience. I know I have been eating too much cake. Hospitals and clinics, both private and public, are allowed to operate 24 hours, so that's good to know if you have any medical issues. Pharmacies and stores selling medicine can only open from 8 am to 11 pm. Next one, petrol stations are to open from 6 am to 10 pm, but those on the highways can open for 24 hours. So if you are traveling on the main road, have a pit stop to fill your petrol, you're safe. How about buying stuff from the market? Morning markets can open from 6 am to 2 pm, whereas night markets can open now from 4 pm to 10 pm. However, I don't think it's a good idea to go to markets. Have you seen how near people go to each other? When they're like bustling and jostling with one another, get through the crowd, it's really bad, especially if you're in close contact with someone's face right here, shouting for food prices. So I would avoid going to markets as of now, I think. Now we'll move on to things relating to people. Digital and online meetings are encouraged instead of in-person meetings, so they kind of ban all sorts of formal business meetings you have with people for discussions. Just do everything through online like Zoom. And to be honest, how many of you actually like using the online meetings? Personally, I find it a little bit hard to focus sometimes because I get distracted. So let me know in the comments below, are you a fan of online meetings or not? Next one, E-haling and taxis are allowed but with a maximum of 2 passengers in one car. Looks like there's no need to get the XL cars anymore. So tourism, both inside and outside, are prohibited at the moment. We don't really encourage any visitors or traveling in these 3 regions. It's kind of hard if you're like a tourist who was here and got stuck. My heart goes out to you. Hopefully you can travel again after these 2 weeks. Public transportation systems will still be in service. All you have to do is make sure you just check in and get your temperature checked before you enter the train, I presume. And now the most important piece of information is this one. You can only leave your house to travel around to the different 3 regions. Like if I want to go from Selangor to KL or KL to Putrajaya, basically anywhere that is between these 3 different districts, you can only travel with a permit or a work pass. If I am living in Selangor and I work in Kuala Lumpur, I need my employer to issue me a work permit that officially states I am an employee that must go to the office. Hence, the police will allow me to move through. Otherwise, they're going to stop me at the roadblock and force me to make a U-turn to go back. So this is quite a big issue for most people because they can't travel as easily as they want to. With many roadblocks all around, police are quite rampant. They really want to curb people from gallivanting and moving about. Technically, even though I live in Selangor and I can move about in Selangor like grocery shopping or going to a cafe, I can't actually go to KL to eat there because they would stop me, as eating out is not a valid reason unless it's a medical issue. As of now, I'm stuck here in Selangor. And last point, which is not really a rule but more like an encouragement, employers are encouraged to allow employees to take leave or work from home. This is technically the new hashtag of the year, work from home. It's happening for me too. My company has stated that all employees have to work from home within this period because they don't want to allow the spread of the virus to happen too much. It's quite scary because there have been cases reported near my workplace. I wouldn't want it to spread over to my office and everyone gets infected. It's good that we are given a laptop to work with and all our files are accessed through the cloud, so we don't have any physical documents that we need to have only in the office. So yeah, those are mostly what's happening right now in my area for this new phase of CMCO. How do I feel? Honestly, I am quite annoyed that we've come to this stage again. I was hoping that everything will calm down and we will be able to not have this much restrictions, but there have been a lot of clusters happening around the country, especially in Sabah, in Kedah. They were spreading like wildfire. The best we can do, as mentioned, is just to stay safe, clean your hands, don't go to public places that much, and wear a mask all the time. I'm just gonna relax at home basically and just read my books, play more piano, write more songs, edit more videos if I can. I'm not sure about how things are in your country. Leave a comment below. Are things looking good? Do you have more rules than normal? I'm keen to know. Alright, that's the random check-in for me. Thank you guys so much for watching and make sure you guys subscribe to follow more updates of what's happening around my life. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!